Hello everybody and welcome back to Rule of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Champagne. And we are going to be on Tears of the Desert, spawning mid. And there's a lot of cruisers in this match, and there's a carrier. Now, this match isn't all going to be about me. No. We are going to talk about what our teammates and potentially enemies have done wrong during this match. So, with that being in mind, we're going to start out. Now, what I do here is I check and see who's on what side. Okay, we have a battleship at either side. But on the right side, we have a battleship, we have a carrier, and we have a destroyer with a cruiser. So I figured that side, plenty strong enough. So I'm going to go to the opposite flank. I'm going to help the side that should be in the weak side. So I'm going to go over there, multiply our firepower. Now, obviously, with this being a carrier game and the fact that we spawn middle, we're most likely going to be spotted very early on in our campaign. So we got to keep that in mind. And with that in mind, we're going to start to make sure that we turn away. Okay? Now, as soon as I get spotted, you'll see what I do here. Rather than sit broadside, what do we know about the Champagne? Champagne is very easy to citadel. We call it a glass cannon. Okay? Why? Because it is just very easy to citadel this thing. So if you get caught broadside, you're going to get citadel. So we get spotted, planes are incoming, we're already angled away. And what gets spotted? Enemy Champagne! And guess what he's not doing? He's not angling very well. He takes a shot at us, we take a shot at him. He gets 0 damage, and we end up getting a citadel right through the like upper side plating. So with that, we are now going to start turning back towards the enemy. We don't want to sit out here. We don't want to kite all the way to the edge of the map. We want to get ahead, right? We want to push our flank as best we can. So enemy destroyer spotted on this flank. Keep that in mind. Pay attention to what's going on the map, okay? This is if there's one thing that I can like try to instill into folks that are watching this, please pay attention to what's going on. Please. All right? You need to learn when you have advantages, when you don't have an advantage, when you need to go, when you need to sit. These are all nuanced things. They're not difficult to learn, but people just don't learn them. Now here we have a Z-44. We're going to go ahead and take a shot because if you see a destroyer, you shoot at the destroyer, right? Pretty simple. Decent dispersion, all horizontal, and we get one hit. Not a lot of damage, but it's better than nothing, right? At least we hit him. So we're going to go ahead and start pushing ourselves forward. Now watch what's coming up. You see on the map that I've got a cruiser broadside in front of me, right? So we don't know what he's doing, but we know that if we run into him, we could potentially screw him over. We don't want that. Now here, we're getting ready to use auto-aim to take a shot at the Charles, but unfortunately he disappears right before we get a chance. So instead, we settle for shooting at the superstructure of the Turpits. Now again, we see the cruiser, we slow down, we turn away, we don't want to run into him, we don't want to screw him over. Like if he gets shot at, we don't want to potentially be the reason he gets death struck, right? So, playing team friendly here doesn't always work out in your favor, but sometimes it does. I would much rather take the chance of playing team friendly and not having my guy get death struck and keeping him alive. Now, right there, our Baltimore, which I believe is the one right next to us, or no, it was the guy out a little bit closer. He decides to radar. Why? Is anybody's guess. Apparently, he thought maybe he could get the destroyer. The destroyer does end up showing himself, but it's too little too late. The Baltimore basically used that radar to spot the Turpits through the island for reasons. I don't know why. But we did get a good hit on the side of the Roma here. Now watch what my team is doing. My team is going to be so incredibly passive. And this is not a good thing. There are times to be passive. There are times to know you have the advantage and move forward. When you have this many cruisers on one side, moving forward should be a priority. Because you have a battleship willing to put himself in position to help you. And getting rid of these cruisers early and potentially the destroyer is a big deal. Not to mention grabbing caps. Cap control is a big deal in this match. Now, our destroyer has managed to capture the Charlie cap, but he's in a position where he could get killed by the carrier at any time. The carrier's just hovering over his head, so it's just a matter of time before the carrier manages to finish him off. Now here, the Charles, we already punched once. We're going to go ahead and aim high. We know that we overmatch, so as long as we hit him, we're going to do some damage. We don't get the best RNG in the world. We only land 2 shells, and he's going to get away for now. But look at this mines out to my left. Now, he gets punched by somebody, and so here, I'm going to go ahead and try to take him out. Now, as soon as I target him, he turns away, which is to be expected, so maybe I should have waited a little bit longer to aim the shot. But if you watch the result, not the greatest. Not the greatest at all. But he's going to get really predictable, and he's going to forget that this thing has a really good reload and very fast guns. So the shells travel very quickly, and the reload is quick enough that if you don't pay attention, you could get yeeted in a hurry. Didn't quite lead him enough here, but we did slap the crap out of him, of course, leave him with just enough to get away, right? Why is nobody shooting? I have another battleship right next to me that could easily shoot this guy and finish him off. We are going to get really unfortunate RNG to not be able to finish this guy off. We're going to keep landing on either side of his ship. Look at this. Perfect aim and just in front of his ship, right? It just goes exactly where it has to avoid hitting his ship to finish him off. So he's going to get a heal off. And then he's going to get to be a problem for a little while longer. This shell, he turns into it. We do get 1 penetration. It's an overpin. It's unfortunate, but at this point, we've got to start turning back in. Now, I was expecting the destroyer to be out here pushing us. He's not. The destroyer is back towards the middle. He did capture the base for his team. And again, this comes down to, you know, teammates doing what they're supposed to do, right? With 3 cruisers right there and a battleship that is pushing forward and another battleship that is pushing forward, those cruisers need to get on their game, man. There's no reason for them to be hanging around the back waiting. Like, get involved in the fight. And these cruisers are actually going to be a big reason as to why this match ends the way it does. So, we're going to start pushing towards the cap. The friendly battleship, obviously, is engaged with the Z-44. The cruisers are right there. Look at their positioning. If they cut to the inside, they've got battleships against them, right? Bad idea. You can't do it. So they are completely out of position to do anything. They're shooting probably at the battleships as is. Our Yugamo does eventually go down. He was spotted forever. The enemies moved up. We've got a beautiful look at this mines. We waited this time. This looks like a good kill. Finally, we get rid of him. And now we can start to really push the cap. So we're going to pay attention to what's going on. Now look at the map. We have won this side, right? There's nothing left over here. There's a Chappie in the middle. There's a another Champagne in the middle of the map. There's a Roma over there on the far side. There's the Charles Martel all the way out here on the left side. So this side is completely wrapped up, which means these guys should be in the cap right now, right? We've done our job. It's time for them to do theirs. Now here, I should have been a little bit more patient. I thought I could squeeze this shot through. Unfortunately, all of our shells hit the island except for like one who's going to go through and give us like no damage on the Champagne. But as we push forward, the Champagne is absolutely begging for it, but just about the time that we take the shot, you can see he's already started turning toward us, which means he's going to be able to turn in and avoid pretty much every bit of damage here. And look at the accuracy. It's the one thing that you can say about the Champagne. It is a glass cannon, but it is a sniper. If you get a chance to shoot broadsides of anything, you're going to wreck them. Now, it's all horizontal dispersion, which means when you're shooting at people who's bow in, it's not the easiest thing to control. You're not going to get much out of shooting people who are bow in, most of the time. But we do take a shot here, aiming a little bit high. We citadel the Champagne. We leave him with just enough, once again, to get away. And he's burning. So at this point, I'm contemplating, okay, is he going to die? If he is, I'll go ahead and start targeting the Chappie. The Chappie has put himself in a terrible position. And just as I get ready to shoot the Chappie, I notice that this guy actually puts out his damage control. So I don't want to give a chance for this battleship to survive, so we go ahead, focus the battleship, get him off the board. Chappie, very low health. Unfortunately, we did lose our ship as well. So now we're going to go ahead and target the Chappie. We do have a reload booster left, so the next thing that we want to do is aim high. This guy's in reverse, but as soon as we fire, look at that dispersion. That is the stuff of nightmares. But we do hit 2 shells through the bow, leave him again with just enough to get away, but we go ahead, we use the reload booster, and watch this. It's like, just as he goes dark, we take the shot, and we hit him with just 1 shell. Again. Like, what are the odds? If I hit him with 2 shells, he dies, but no. 1 shell. Overpin, no damage. And of course he goes broadside, gets his torpedoes away. We are able to easily kill him. Hopefully he does not manage to torp our cruiser here. And cruiser is fine. Okay, so now, here's, if you're gonna say that I made a mistake in this match, it's right here. You can see that the carrier is clearly out on my left, right? If I had gone after the carrier, maybe we win this match, right? But, in my mind, the enemy has a 3 cap to 1 advantage. If I chase the carrier, there's no guarantee that I even get to spot the carrier, right? So rather than chasing the carrier, I make the decision to go after the battleships, and I'll be in a great position against the Roma and the Tirpitz. Roma starts to turn in. I don't know what his plan here is. Before he goes dark, you can see he does try to smoke up, but before he goes dark, we get the shot off, and we land 4 shells on target, bringing us up to 113,000 damage. Now, enemy Tirpitz is broadside to us. This is beautiful. But watch here as the Roma gets himself spotted broadside onto us. And I'm not going to lie, I maybe rushed the shot here. You can see he is slightly angled away. And because I rushed that shot, we actually bounce off of his belt. But that's fine because is what it is. It's going to happen, right? Can't hit every shot. But Tirpitz goes broadside to our cruisers. That should be... He's also being attacked by our carrier. But look at our carrier's position. Our carrier is doing textbook carrier things where he just backs to the corner of the map and sits still, right? It's terrible. We'll explain why. But Roma goes full broadside, and this is never going to end well for you. Going broadside in any battleship, let alone an Italian battleship or Russian battleship, at these ranges to a Champagne, you're asking to be deathstruck. Champagne will not miss many shells. Now, fortunately for him, the Champagne only gets 6 shells, and 3 of them were Citadels, but he's still broadside, so we're easily able to finish him off. We trigger our heal, we get into the cap, and now we're going to be able to hopefully hold our lead. Remember, this is a domination match, right? So, getting cap control, getting that lead is going to give us a huge advantage. So, now we're in the cap, we're going to try to get this cap taken. We're also denying the enemy points, but if you're paying attention, our carrier is being chased by a Baltimore. And he's just sitting still. Now, he could have moved up at any point during this match and followed the cruisers and I around the left side of the match, right? The right side has been gone for so long. There is no reason to have a carrier sit that far away. Follow your team around the map, play it safe. Your teammates can help protect you, and you can be in a better position, and oh my god, the Z-44 is on my left. Now, we knew he was over here somewheres because of the fact that he'd already torped us. So now, we've got to respect the fact that the Z-44 is here. So we turn out, expecting torpedoes, and we try to make ourselves as skinny as possible in the direction that we know the destroyer is going. But, this destroyer is also not staying in a smokescreen. How do we know? Because he's keeping us spotted. It's not the carrier that's spotting us, it's the destroyer. So, we have to keep the turn going to avoid any potential torpedoes here, and as you can see, torpedoes coming in, we dodge them, no problem. We also get the cap. Now, we have our team right on the precipice of winning this match. The scores are very close. It keeps bouncing back and forth between who's winning, who's losing. The deciding factor in this match is going to be the fact that the enemy carrier is in a position where he can constantly put planes on targets and continue to affect the match. And nobody is going after the carrier. And the cruisers, instead of going to the base where they could have actually gotten in and captured the other base or stayed close to one another over there, they have decided to charge up the same side that I captured and are now in a position where they're just getting farmed by the carrier and they can't actually do anything useful for the team. Now, at some point, one of the cruisers actually did radar, but the destroyer wasn't in range to be radared. Here, I'm expecting torpedoes once again, so I use the island to scrape them off. I go ahead and start to load up the HE because I'm expecting the destroyer to YOLO rush me, right? I'm figuring, okay, at this point in the game, the destroyer's just going to YOLO rush me. Unfortunately, our carrier is still sitting still, and because our Cleveland died, the carrier gave his team the win, and our carrier is about to die to the Balti. And There's just nothing we can do here. We've done everything in our power to win the game for our team, but our team has managed to fumble it away. Because they were out of position for most of the game, they never tried to push their advantage at any point. They never tried to put themselves in a position that was advantageous to the team. They just sat back, farmed battleships for the entirety of the game, and they lost the match. We didn't get cap control despite winning our flank relatively early. We didn't have any sort of cap control. We didn't get rid of the destroyer when we had the opportunities to get rid of the destroyer. And so this game ends with our team losing, rightfully so. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below as this one wraps up. And of course our Hipper goes down for good measures as well. Now I can't blame the Hipper. The Hipper actually managed to do decently well in this one as well. And when you look at the XP totals in this loss, you'll know. So 2,145 base XP in a loss. And it wasn't the Hipper, it was the Ochakov. Ochakov had 2,000. Hipper had a clear sky. But look at the rest of the team. The Cleveland was one of the last people to die. He is bottom of the leaderboard. How? Because he was in a position where he could do nothing for the entirety of the match. One of the highest DPM cruisers, tier for tier, in the game. And he never did anything useful. And somehow managed to survive till the very end of the game. So, it's a textbook example of how you can win or lose matches based on just bad positioning. You've got to realize when you have advantages or you don't have advantages and take advantage of those moments as best as possible and stop getting so focused on damage or trying to farm certain ships and actually pay attention to what's going on the map. Pay attention to cap control when it's a domination. Pay attention to where people were last spotted. Pay attention to what your team is doing and whether or not you should follow them around the map, especially in a carrier, instead of just backing up to the corner of the map and staying in one place the entire game and making yourself an easy target. These are all things that people need to learn. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.